Well, Hark, my name is Herald. So great to see all of you out there here at Westridge Church. I want to welcome everybody that is online right now watching. Maybe you're in the Northwest Atlanta area and you want to come join us right here at Westridge Church. We would love to have you. We're just 10 minutes away from beginning our third Christmas Eve service. It starts today at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be your host, Herald, because I come bringing shouts of joy, angelic, the whole angel thing. So that's why I'm in this gold plastic suit. It only making me sweat just a little bit. But we're here in the atrium right now, seeing the hustle and bustle of a Christmas Eve service. And we want you to join us here behind the scenes. So you can see for instance, there is plenty of people over here for some coffee. So a lot of times our diehard coffee drinkers, it's like Jesus coffee Jesus. I don't know what order. A lot of times there's an order there somewhere. Hopefully Jesus first, coffee second. And we're going to find out some of these guys. Look over here at this young man. Look at this. Sir, tell us your name, young man. Frank, what a great name, right? It's a Christmas name, right?
Simple.
Yeah, it's simple, sophisticated, though.
Go, I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. How long have you been waiting for this delicious cup of joe today?
Oh, not long. Just about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, not bad. Now, what do you think of the people that when the service starts at 9, they're still out here for another 10, 15 minutes? They've got to get their coffee in them.
I think they should get their seat. Yeah.
That is very, very smart. What a good idea. Now, what drink is your favorite here at the World Cafe that we're here visiting?
The Monster? No. The coffee.
The coffee, the Monster, it's got all the things. Okay, I like that. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy your cup of joe and get on there and get your seat. All right, Frank, Merry Christmas. All right. So as you can see, we've got some people waiting. Hi, everybody in the coffee line. So great to see all of their beautiful, shining faces. Now, over here, you're going to notice we have some Christmas trees in the middle of the atrium, and there's some snow coming down. So it's perfect for a selfie. It's perfect if you want to come out and get a picture. Like, here's a family here. They're probably waiting to get a picture. Let's check on them. Are you guys all waiting to get a picture? Then let's just do it together. Come on in here. Come on, let's get it. I'm sure you want me to be in your family picture with you. All right, are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's so good. Merry Christmas to you. It's snowing. This is Georgia snow. So if you're from the northern areas, this is about as good as it gets. A machine dropping some soapy suds in there, but feels like a shower, right? So we're going to start walking on inside. We're going to see what's looking like in there. So come along in here. We'll walk through the crowd, and we're about ready to find some people that are inside along the aisleway. So this is where people think it's great to sit in the aisle, but not on Christmas Eve. So let's go find some people inside here. Here's our candle passer outers right here. Aren't they doing a lovely job? Look at those, thousands upon thousands of candles. Because today we have our elementary kids in the service with us. That means we get to celebrate Christmas as a family with a candlelight service. We get to play with fire while we're in big church. Isn't that a win, right? Playing with fire in church, that's a big deal here. Hello, George. It's great to see you. Merry Christmas. You're leaving so soon. Thanks for being a part.
I know what the message is about.
He knows it. It's Jesus. He's the reason for the season. Well, let's walk on in here. We only have a few minutes left. So we're going to walk down the center aisle. Has a silent S in it. The center isle. The center isle. Oh, hi, guys. Thank you. I love it when people wave because that means they would love to say Merry Christmas to everybody, not only here in the worship center, but also back at home. Stand up if you don't mind here. Come on over here. Tell us your name. Angie, what's your favorite thing about Christmas?
Jesus.
Doesn't get any better than that. What's one tradition you like to do with your family this Christmas season?
I don't know.
So many good ones to pick, right? Like drinking hot cocoa?
Yes.
And watching Christmas movies?
Yes.
And eating a meal together?
Yes.
Sounds like I know your family very well, right? I'm an angel. I know everything. That's how it is. So, well, thank you, Angie. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And let's continue on down here because I think we've only got a few seconds left, maybe minutes as well. So we're going to see if we can find anybody else that would like to talk to us. It's the people that don't make eye contact that are the best people to talk to, right? For instance, right here, this young man who purposely looked away. That means, hey, call on me. I'm your guy, right? I'm the one. Now, it's you, and who is this sitting beside you, sir?
My wife.
This is your wife. And tell us the name of your last name of your family.
Goss.
Goss, would you like to come stand up here with me just for a second? Your wife made eye contact, so that meant she wanted her husband to stand up and talk. So that was good. So tell us your favorite Christmas movie this season.
Home Alone.
Any Home Alone fans out there? Yes. So good. Macaulay Culkin doing his thing, right? It's so good. Now, tonight is Christmas Eve. Will you be going to bed very early to get ready for Christmas Day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're going to stay up late.
Absolutely.
What is late for you?
11:30.
11:30. That's really good. That's really good. That's about when we hit our second wind and then we're tired the next day. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy your family in this season here. Now, as I said before, we've got a lot of kids in this service, so I thought we might eyeball and find some kids. Hello. Wait, it's his birthday? Well, happy birthday. How are you? Merry Christmas. Christmas Eve is your birthday. You have to deal with that. How is it having your birthday on Christmas Eve every year?
Very awkward.
How does the present situation go? Because it's like, do you get presents today and tomorrow? Do they roll them all up into like one day together and you kind of get gypped? What does that look like for you?
It's like split between like different days through December.
I like that. It's like Hanukkah for Jesus, right? It's like, we'll just have lots and lots of days, lots and lots of presents all month long.
Not all month long, just random days.
Just random days. It's a random day. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Happy Christmas Eve as well to you and your family. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Oh, hello. Here's a young lad following us around now. Come over to me, young person. This is how it is. It's like the Pied Piper, right? Tell us your name.
Andrew.
What, Andrew? How old are you? 4 years old. Isn't it great? We love having our big round of applause for Andrew here, right? So, Andrew, what's something you love about Christmas?
Playing with snow.
Playing with the snow. That's right. We had a snowball fight last week, which is always fun. And then when you go outside, you can play in the grass, right? And the dirt. You can roll around in it. Do you like rolling around in the dirt? No. You're a clean boy, right? Probably smart with your good Christmas clothes on. Hey, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Andrew. Everybody give Andrew a round of applause there. Merry Christmas, Andrew. Just stand there. A family will find you one day. All right. Listen, we've only got about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, so we're making our way down here. Check. Oh, hello. How are you doing? What are you doing in Big Church today?
I wanted to stay here.
You wanted to stay here in Big Church. Oh, and you're leaving. There it is. Great to see you. Merry Christmas. All right, well, let's continue on down here. How are you guys doing here? Well, Merry Christmas to you. Look at this Christmas sweater. Now, how's it going this fine Christmas day for you? Great. How about you? Thank you for asking. Well, good. The wings are a little bit itchy and the plastic suit's a little bit hot. But other than that, it is a great Christmas Eve.
It's weird.
Thank you.
It's got a strange texture to it.
Why are you feeling me?
Well, you were here.
I feel you, my brother. I feel you, my brother. Hey, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, we're going to continue on down here. 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is usually when the band starts getting up there on stage. They start getting their in-ears in. They're about ready to sing some songs. And today we get to sing together as a whole church family. And so here we are getting a little closer. Oh, hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? One more little hello. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas. Oh, stretch the angel wings. That was good. That was good. Well, Austin, stand up here with us. Austin, what's one of your favorite things about Christmas this year?
I would have to say Jesus.
You can tell the people that work in kids ministry. I'm just saying, Jesus is the reason for the season, right? Thought you'd give me something like eggnog or something, but no, Jesus from you.
Definitely.
I like that. Well, next week, in January, we'll be back upstairs. Kids ministry will be rocking and you'll be up there, but today you're here with us in Big Church.
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Merry Christmas to you. All right, guys, we're going to make our way all the way up here on the stage, and the service is about to begin. Are you guys ready out there? All right, sounds like they're ready. Only 14 more seconds. Give me plenty of time to stretch those angelic wings and legs. Kelly here, she's one of our shorter worship leaders, right? She comes about yay high, right? She needs to be in kids ministry with us. That's where she needs to be. The best fifth grader we have, right over there, Kelly. What? No offense, none taken. Well, good morning. Merry Christmas, Westridge. So glad you guys are joining us. We are going to have an amazing morning just celebrating Jesus, singing some songs together. You'll notice, as we said during the welcome here, that the kids are joining us today. So a lot of you have your elementary age kids with you, and it's our only time all year long we get a chance to worship together corporately like this. And so usually when you come back in January, as Austin and I were talking about, kids ministry has their own band upstairs. We teach them the Bible in chronological order. And if that's not something you guys have a part of your weekly rhythm, please join us, because your kids have an absolute blast up there with us while you guys are down here in Big Church. I'm always thankful you guys have a place to go down here in Big Church while we do church upstairs. Listen, if you got middle schoolers, high schoolers, young adults, we've got something for everyone. We want your family to feel welcome here every single Sunday. So I want you to stand up on your feet, and I'm going to find Jason here somewhere, and he is going to lead us in our first song. Jason, I feel your angelic presence. Jason. Jason. Hi. This is my favorite angel of all. Merry Christmas, everyone. You got it.
Yes. We applaud Herald. So fun to be able to hark with him today. Hey, we're so glad you're here to celebrate Christmas with us. And just as he said, the fact that families are in the room, we want you to lean into that. We want you to join with the choir that you see up here already. So we want to have a little bit of fun today, and we want to teach you a chorus. We want to teach you a song that you can sing with us and join with the choir. Oh, come on. Got a little groove here. All right, throughout the song, I'm going to give you a point to help you know when to sing it, okay? Because this is how the chorus goes. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Help them out, choir. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Now you join in, come on. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Come on, Kelly. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Joy, joy, joy to the world. Joy, joy, joy to the world.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her new
everybody. You know what? What I love about these Christmas services is that so many people love to be a part of what we're doing as a family. And so we still have a lot of families coming down the parkway, checking their children into preschool and coming into the room. And so, listen, if you would do us a favor, I'm going to give you some very specific instructions that will help our host team out so much, because we want to be able to sit those families who are gathering together and coming here together, we want to be able to sit them all together. So if you would just take in the section that you're in, if you would move toward the center of the room. So just move toward the center of the room. What that does is puts as many seats together on the aisle as possible. I apologize to all of you who got here nice and early so you could have an aisle seat. I know what that's like, but thank you so much for sacrificing as we celebrate Jesus' birth, okay? Thank you for that. Well, hey, my name is Steve, and I'm one of the pastors here on staff. And if this is your very first time, we want to welcome you to our Christmas services. This is service number 3 of 5, and we are just going to have a wonderful time of worship here this morning. If this is your first time here, though, we would love to know it. And so in the seat back in front of you, there is a Get Connected card. If you wouldn't mind, throughout the morning today, fill it out and turn it in at the doors on your way out. You can also use a QR code and do that on your phone if you want to. If you're watching online, we want to welcome you as well, and you can get the instructions on how to do that online. They'll help you there. One of my favorite writers is a guy by the name of Paul Tripp. And I love what he says even about this season. He says that worship, or gathering together like we are today for worship, serves as a very gracious reminder of what it's all about. It's not about all the gifts and all the parties, and even though those things are awesome and wonderful, and we love to do all of those things, what it's ultimately about is the fact that Jesus was born of a Virgin Mary, lived a perfect life, died a necessary death, so that we might have a relationship with the Father forever, and a relationship with one another as His church forever as well. Worship reminds us of that. And so let's continue our worship as we sing these great carols of our Christian faith together, okay? Church, let's sing it. All right, let's do it.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. And saw a star shining in the east, beyond them far, and to the earth it gave great light, and so it continued both day and night. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. We will sing out hallelujah, Son of heaven, come to dwell. We will bow down, we will worship our Messiah, Emmanuel. Then let us all with one accord sing praises to that have made heaven and earth of none, and with his blood mankind hath bought. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you were lifted up, holy, you're holy forever. The angels, and the angels cry, cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, you're holy forever. Your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, so holy. The highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all, and all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all, your name is the highest, your name the greatest, your name, it stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all. The angels cry, holy, all creation cries. Holy, stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world and sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Amen, church. We hail His birth. We celebrate it. And I pray that it would just be a place of worship for you to just respond to Him being born. So good to do that together today on Christmas Eve. I want to invite you to have a seat. At Westridge, we're just always so excited to just celebrate these marks of discipleship, seeing God move in people's lives. So we were able to capture a story for Christmas this year. And we wanted to share it with you. So check this out.
So I graduated from college and really wanted to go into law enforcement. I applied at Richland County Sheriff's Department, and that's where I met him.
Come in one day to our regional squad meeting, and there's this beautiful girl sitting there answering calls. And that was really when the attraction started to grow, and we started to date. And we started talking about marriage.
And so we got married, and we started really talking about having children. And when we finally got pregnant with Lily, I feel like life was always going the way that I had envisioned it to. Like, I felt like I was in control. Like, things were going the way they should, right? Everything was just moving along.
We started to talk about, do we want to have baby number 2? And next thing you know, she's pregnant. And Jonah's born. Lily and Jonah are 23 months apart. The birthing center noticed that he had a cleft palate.
The next day, we went to the pediatrician, and they heard what they thought was an inconsequential heart murmur. So at 7 days old, they had referred us to MUSC cardiology. And so we went in and they did an ultrasound on Jonah. And they said, your son has a series of several heart defects. We can't believe he's alive. And she said so we're gonna go ahead and put you inpatient right now. We really have to see what's going on and how he's continued to survive. God literally brought me to the floor. It's not until you hit rock bottom do you finally look up. For his first 2 years, we literally lived in and out of the hospital. Even common colds kept Jonah in the hospital. It feels like after 2 years was when he started building up an immune system.
When we made the decision to move here, we moved here for better hospital care. Choa was ranked in the top 5 in the nation, but we were concerned about leaving our support system. And when we got here, that was something we struggled to find.
So it's hard going to a church randomly and just saying, hey, listen, I've got this child who's, medically fragile. Do you mind watching him while I go to service? It was just really a struggle to feel confident about people that would have the knowledge base to be able to care for him. And I had a friend who had a child with special needs as well, and she suggested that I take Jonah to Breakaway so we could actually go out for once. And so Breakaway is an amazing quarterly event that Westridge puts on, and they provide childcare and it's in a safe environment. And so we took Jonah to Breakaway and he had an amazing time.
And about that time, we're invited to attend church at Westridge. And our kids were comfortable there. Jonah had a one-on-one. He could attend classes with his own age group.
We were able to join a special needs group, and we started having that community again. And it made all the difference in the world to feel like we were part of something. Because I feel like the biggest thing is I feel like Satan tries to make you feel like you're alone on the journey. And if you're not connected, I think that's when he attacks the most.
You think about the verse, Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. And it talks about sufferings, but then how that builds perseverance. And perseverance builds hope. This time of pain was worth it, because this is a testimony.
What a beautiful video. And if you're new to Westridge, I want to tell you, we've had a special needs ministry here at Westridge since 2009, but this past year God led us to open up a brand new wing of our building that we started building a couple years ago. And since that time, our special needs ministry has doubled in size. And we are... If you're one of those new families here at Westridge Church who are part of that community, I just want to say thank you for being here, and we're so honored. Honestly, we're watching the complexion of our church change in so many different ways, and one of the most beautiful changes has been just to see so many wonderful individuals with special needs feeling that this church is home, and the families that come with them. And so we're so grateful for each and every one of you. And I want to just say thank you as well to all of you who have invested over the years, not only into this ministry, but into allowing us to build this new wing through our Vision Fund throughout the year, and then especially right now through our gift offering. It has truly been an incredible story. This is so much more than a relief ministry. It is an opportunity for us to watch families thrive and grow within the body of Christ. So glad all of you are here today. We got a packed house. It's the one time of year that we got all the kids in the service. And so it's good to have all of our kiddos in the service with us here today. It's Christmas time. And as a staff, you probably know we run really hard through the month of December. And we plan for a long, long time for these particular services. And so when we get a chance to come and see this place packed out, it's truly an answer to prayer. And God's already been moving in a powerful way. And I just want to welcome all of you to this moment. Christmas, for so many people, is a season of searching. I mean, think about it. We drive into the Walmart or Target parking lot like we did yesterday, Amy and me, and looking for that closest parking spot. Or we go to the avenues or the outlets and we bounce from store to store searching for that perfect gift. Or we walk through Home Depot or we go to a Christmas tree farm and we're just searching for just the right Christmas tree. Or if you're like me, you scale the rooftops and the trees in your yard like Clark Griswold searching for the best place to hang Christmas lights. Or we rummage through our closet searching for just that perfect, best-looking Christmas outfit for a moment like this. Or we thumb through cookbooks searching for the most delicious recipe. Or I know Amy and I have done this quite a bit over the last several days. You surf through Netflix or Prime searching for your favorite Christmas movie or something you've never seen before. Or we look in our houses searching for the best place to hide away from the crazy relatives that are going to be in our house over the next few days. I heard somebody tell me that last night. I'm going to be hiding a lot over the next couple days. And then finally, we search through our wallet, searching for the best credit card to pay for all the gifts that we've purchased. For so many people, that's Christmas. Christmas is a season of searching. But this searching is really not new. This whole concept of searching during this time of the year is not a new thing. Over 2,000 years ago, after the birth of Jesus, we see a group of men that went on a journey to search for a baby that was born King of the Jews. And Matthew records this story in Matthew chapter 2. You can read with me on the screen, or if you have your notes in front of you, I included that for you today. And here's what Matthew writes. He says, "Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, 'Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him.' And when Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all of Jerusalem with him. And assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired them where the Christ was to be born. And they told him, 'In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel.' And then Herod summoned the wise men secretly and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, 'Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him.' And after listening to the king, they went on their way, and behold, the star that they had seen when it rose went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. And then opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed to their own country by another way." If you've been here over the last few weeks, we've been in a Christmas series called Herald. And herald means announcement. It means to proclaim. And this morning we're going to look at how God proclaimed, how he heralded the announcement of Jesus to the wise men. How did he do that? Well, we see that it was through a star. That's what these men followed. By profession, these men were astronomers. They were men of science. That's why the Bible refers to them as wise men. They were respected, influential men in their community. But as you look at their lives, there was obviously an emptiness in these guys' hearts that caused them to travel hundreds of miles to follow a star. These guys were searching for truth, and God gave them a guide to help them find their way. If you think about this for a moment, and Amy and I were actually talking about this the other night, This star must have been quite a sight. I love just how God includes this in the story, because when you think about stars, I mean, they're so high in the sky, and I don't think any of us have ever seen a star that actually led us to a place. But this star right here was so big and so brilliant that it guided these men to the place where Jesus was. This was no ordinary star. God purposefully designed this moment. The wise men had an incredible God-ordained travel guide that would lead them on the road to Bethlehem. The star pointed them to Jesus. Well, when I look at a story like this, I like to think about all of the lessons that we can learn from it, and really the reason why God would have put this story in the Bible. First of all, I think the wise men's journey involved a willingness to take a risk. What in the world would cause prominent men like this to leave their homes and their families, to leave what they did for a living, to travel such a long way through some rugged terrain and really a dangerous political climate to see a child? Well, it was faith. These guys didn't come to town asking if a baby had been born who was king of the Jews. They knew that he existed. The star was their proof. All they wanted to know was, where is he? Their purpose had been established. Search for him and find him. It didn't matter how far they had to travel. It didn't matter how dangerous the conditions were. They were willing to risk it all to find him. You say, why would they do that? Well, they stated their purpose, so we can worship him. Now think of how their friends could have responded as they were trying to explain to them, or even their family members, or if they were married, their wives. Where in the world are you going? Tell me where you're going again. We're really not quite sure. How far are you traveling? Well, we really don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take us. And when will you be back? Well, we can't quite tell you when we're going to be back. I mean, their neighbors, their families had to be scratching their heads thinking, these guys don't seem very wise at all. And yet these men were led by God to take a step of faith. They trusted God's leading. They risked security. They risked their reputation, the possibility of being criticized, the possibility of even failure, because they believed with all their heart that following God was worth a risk. These wise men believed that at the very end of their search, they would find the King of the Jews, and so they were willing to take a risk to see that happen. This morning, God may not be calling you to make some huge, audacious, life-altering step of faith like these men took. But he might be calling you just to maybe just take a small step to see a little bit of a shift in your life. Maybe God is asking you to trust him right now through a difficult relationship issue that maybe is robbing you of your peace. And that's a risk for you maybe because it might mean admitting that you were wrong. Maybe it's trusting that God has a plan for your future even though you can't see it right now. And that's a risk because for some of you, you might have to give up control. Maybe it's a financial issue. It's the uncertainty of your financial state that is currently stealing your joy and robbing you of your peace. And maybe God is asking you to take your hands off of this and to trust him with your financial future. I don't know what God's Spirit may be leading you to do today, but here's what I do know. A true spiritual journey will always involve faith. I remember many years ago when Amy and I were first married, we were kind of going through a difficult time with some things, and we were up on a Sunday evening watching Charles Stanley on TV, sitting in front of our couch watching him, and I'll never forget this. He took his hands like this and he held them up as if he was holding faith, and he said this, he says, "You will never know the power of what you possess," meaning your faith. He says, "until it is put to the test." Until you let God put it to the test. Listen, if your Christian life is void of faith, you're probably dealing with a spiritual life that feels very dried up and useless this morning, very lifeless. A faith that is willing to venture out with God and to take a risk is a faith that is exciting and alive. Have you ever wondered why these guys actually showed up in the story of Jesus' life? I believe these guys are in this story, in this book right here, because of their faith. These wise men were respected. They were admired in the world that they worked in, but they were willing to trust God's leading and leave it all behind to catch a glimpse of what was underneath that star. They had to see that child. And their faith propelled them to take a risk. But listen, their journey also involved an attitude of expectancy. These men were incredibly motivated to find Jesus. Just from looking at what they had to do to find Jesus, we see this tenacious attitude that said, no matter what the cost, we will find him. We're going to find him regardless of what it costs us. They had an attitude of expectancy. We know they had knowledge that the King of the Jews had been born. They told Herod that they had seen his star while they were still in the east. Now, we don't know exactly what that means, whether they came from ancient Iran or Iraq or even maybe further east than that. These guys could have stayed home. I mean, if you think about it, they could have just looked at the star and said, that's beautiful. They could have recorded it in their journal, but that wasn't enough for these men. They had to see it for themselves. They were filled with anticipation of what they might discover. So these men became men on a mission, and it was a mission of hope. A true spiritual journey will always involve hope. You say, what is hope? Hope, according to author and Pastor John Piper, hope is a confident expectation and desire for something good in the future. Biblical hope not only desires something good for the future, but it expects it to happen. And not only expects it to happen, but is confident that it will happen. These men expected to find what they were searching for. In fact, they were so sure that they would find this little king that they brought him gifts. Now, we don't know if these guys were true believers when they started out on their journey, but their faith and their hope led them to confidently expect that this star was going to lead them to something that was going to be life-changing. You see, expectancy makes all the difference. In order to know Jesus Christ personally as your Savior, you have to receive him into your life by faith alone. But hope allows us to find peace in this life. It's how we get through the storms of life. It's how we walk through seasons of uncertainty and fear. It's the only way that we can confidently expect a future in heaven. We not only hope that God can work in our lives, we expect that he will. That's what hope is all about. Hope says that we believe that Jesus Christ can change our lives and that we are confident that it will happen. As long as that star remained above their heads, these men knew that they had hope. They knew that the purpose of that star meant life. It meant a changed life. And so they traveled through difficult circumstances and they brought this incredible attitude of faith and also expectancy. But their journey also involved this. It involved a realistic understanding of the cost. Now, when you step out of faith to follow God, here's something that you need to expect. You need to expect trials and you need to expect trouble. The wise men not only had this challenging physical journey ahead of them to find Jesus, but they also had to deal with a crazy king by the name of Herod. When Matthew tells us that Herod was troubled by news that the King of the Jews was born in Bethlehem, you need to understand that Herod was a deeply troubled man. This was a man that had serious issues. His issues went well beyond the announcement of a young child being born in Bethlehem. Herod, history tells us that Herod was a paranoid king. When he was in his early 20s, his father, who was also king, was poisoned and murdered by a bunch of palace schemers. So a few years later, after he became king, he threw this massive party where he invited every single man that he knew that had been part of his father's death, and then he had hitmen systematically kill each one of them. He was so paranoid that somehow he was going to be overthrown during his reign that he killed his wife's grandmother, he killed his brother-in-law, and then he killed 3 of his sons because he thought that they were too hungry for the throne. So when you read that Herod was troubled, you need to understand that the boy was not right, okay? This guy had problems. So Matthew tells us that Herod gathers all of the priests together. He grabs all of the teachers of Old Testament law together, and he asks them, he says, where does it say that the Messiah is going to be born? Where in the Old Testament does it say that? And so they quote Micah 5:2 to him, which says the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Then he calls the wise men to come to him, and he asks them to give him a little info on the star and the exact same time that it appeared. Now, by this point, Jesus would have been about 1.5 to 2 years old. And Herod tells the wise men to find him and to report their findings back to them so that he can actually go worship the child. And we know that Herod's lying, right? These wise men were being used as pawns by Herod. Not only did he want to kill Jesus, but chances are that he would have had these men put to death as well. Now, at this point in the story, these men have a dilemma in front of them. They really have one of three choices to make here. Do they go and find Jesus and go back and report his location to Herod? Or do they turn around and leave town out of fear and miss out on seeing Jesus? Or do they find what they've been searching for and worship him and go back a different way than which they came? A true spiritual journey will always involve trials and troubles. Listen, the Christian life is full of great blessings and great promises, but you need to also understand that the Christian life is full of trouble and hardships and trials and even suffering. Yesterday, I got a call early in the morning that my dad's oldest sister, who just turned 85, her husband passed away at midnight. And I just sat and prayed with my Aunt Donna on the phone, who just lost her husband of nearly 50 years. Yesterday morning, one of our staff members found out that his grandmother passed away. We've been battling over this past year with my mom as she's been going through cancer and a lot of other just really challenging physical issues. One of our close friends in this church, we just found out yesterday that he has Hodgkin's lymphoma, and we're praying for him, one of our team members. I love this promise from Jesus in John chapter 16, verse 33. He says, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world, he says, you will have tribulation. In other words, you're going to have trouble, but he says, take heart. He says, I have overcome the world. Listen, despite what you're dealing with here this morning, Jesus says that we can have peace. We can have freedom from worry. We can have a calm spirit in Jesus, because not only has he overcome the world by his death on the cross, but he has made us overcomers as well. In other words, we're not slaves to sin. Our trials and hardships do not defeat us. We are not overtaken by suffering because of the victory that Jesus achieved on the cross. The Bible tells us not only are we overcomers, he says, but we're more than conquerors. But we're going to go through some tough times. And we're going to face some trials. We're going to face challenging situations. We're going to deal with some bad people in our lives. Most every single morning, Amy and I walk around this church before everyone shows up. We have our two dogs, and we're praying over you. We're praying over each other, and Amy prays over me. And one of the things that she prays for every single morning over my life is that God will protect me from wackos. That's exactly how she prays. Lord, bless this man, and would you protect him from wackos? Okay? Can I tell you, Herod was a wacko? And he has these wise men in a tough spot. And Herod is setting these guys up so that he can kill Jesus. But God was in control. God was not surprised or even concerned by Herod's actions. He had everything under control. And I want you to know that in the very same way, he has the issues of your life under control here this morning. He's not surprised by anything that you're going through today. And he can handle whatever you're dealing with. So the journey of the wise men involved faith, it involved hope, it involved trials and trouble, but it also involved a heart of worship and sacrifice. Remember, when the wise men started out on their journey, their purpose was to find Jesus so that they could worship him. When the wise men find Jesus and Mary and Joseph, they're now in a house, okay? I hate to ruin all of your nativity scenes. The wise men were not there with their gifts. It happened about 1.5 years, 2 years later. But Matthew says when they finally arrived, they brought gifts. They brought gold. They brought frankincense. They brought myrrh. Now, at first glance, it almost looks like the wise men brought the wrong gifts to the baby shower. I mean, seriously, what toddler wouldn't love a nice bottle of myrrh, right? Why not an Old Testament action figure? I ran into this little joke in a book from Mark Batterson a few years ago where he talks about what would have happened if God had sent the 3 wise women. You know where this is going, right? He writes this, do you know what would have happened if it had been 3 wise women instead of 3 wise men? They would have asked for directions, arrived on time, helped deliver the baby, cleaned the stable, made a casserole, and they brought practical gifts. I've said some really good things up here today. That's the first time you've clapped. Whatever it takes, right? But these wise men, listen, they brought gold and frankincense and myrrh. Their gifts seemed a bit misguided, but actually they were perfect. I believe it's possible that Joseph and Mary used these gifts to fund their escape to Egypt after Herod ordered all male children under the age of 2 in Bethlehem and the surrounding region to be killed. But these gifts were also very meaningful and they were very symbolic. They had great value. And they were given as an act of worship. For these men to provide these kinds of gifts, you need to know, was a very true sacrifice. A true spiritual journey will always involve worship and sacrifice. I love the words from the prophet Samuel. He says, I will not offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God that cost me nothing. Listen, these men had paid a price to worship Jesus on that day. They traveled for days, most likely months, to get from their homes to Bethlehem. They risked their lives traveling through rugged deserts and very rocky terrain. They left their homes, they left their families and their jobs, they left their comfort zones just so that they could find Jesus and worship him. And when they found him, they gave him gifts of great value. What does God want from all of us here this morning? I want to tell you what he wants. He wants our worship. He wants our hearts. He doesn't just want a piece of your heart. He doesn't want to just be to have a place in your life. Listen, he wants the whole thing. He wants all of you. That had been the understanding that the Jews had had with God from the very beginning. When God created a nation called Israel, God wanted the Jewish people to love him with all of their hearts, all of their minds, all of their souls. And these wise men are a picture of the kind of worship that God requires from us here today. It's a picture of sacrifice. Finally, their journey involved the determination to obey. Matthew tells us that God warned these wise men in a dream not to return to Herod. As a result of their worship, God was speaking to them. God was giving them instructions, and they were listening and they were obeying. Here's the truth. The only way to find God's direction in your life is to put God's truth into practice. We have to not only listen to it, we have to apply it to our lives. You say, how do I do that? Obedience. This is precisely what the wise men did. When God spoke to them, they obeyed him. They risked the wrath of Herod rather than choosing to disobey God. And God led them. He spoke to them. He gave them guidance and direction. A true spiritual journey will always involve obedience. Think for a moment about the journey home. These men would never be the same again. They were men on a mission that found exactly what they were searching for. We don't see a moment where they walked an aisle and received salvation, or they raised their hand to indicate, some decision that they made, on their way home or anything like that. But what we do know is that these men left Bethlehem differently than when they had arrived. They didn't just go back in a different direction. They went back different men because they had been with Jesus. One of the things that I love about this story is that it is all of the elements of the journey that God wants each one of us to experience. It has faith, it has hope, it has trials that make us stronger, it has worship and sacrifice, and it has obedience. Maybe God is speaking to you this morning about your faith. With the Holy Spirit's promptings, perhaps you need to follow God's leading here this morning, and you need to step out in faith and even be willing to take some risks to follow Jesus more intimately. Maybe God is challenging you to redirect your hope back to him today, to believe once again. Maybe it's been a while since you truly, truly believed that God could change your life. And maybe God is calling you back to him today to allow him to change the circumstances of your life. Maybe you're going through a trial today. The season for you represents a lot of struggle, a lot of trouble, a lot of trial right now. Maybe somewhere in your heart you've gotten away from God. Maybe complacency and apathy have replaced or have taken the place in your life of worship and sacrifice. Maybe God is speaking to you this morning about the level of your obedience. It's not just enough to hear God's word and understand it. God wants you to obey it. Maybe you're here today and you desperately need direction and guidance in your life. Maybe you're at a crossroads and you don't know what to do. Listen, God wants to speak into those things. But he wants to know, are you ready to listen and actually obey? And finally, maybe you're like these wise men today. You've come into this place or you're watching online and you're searching today for something. There's an emptiness in your life. maybe you want to describe it as like a hole in your heart, and you're expecting to find something to answer that void, fill that void, answer those questions. And maybe here today, you're willing to take a risk because your heart's been touched, and you are ready to take a step of faith toward Jesus Christ. You're like these wise men for a long time. Maybe God has been at work in your life, leading you to his Son. Well, on this Christmas Eve morning, here's my appeal to you. Receive him into your life. Accept him into your life today to be your personal Savior, and then choose to follow him with your whole heart. I want to ask you to bow your head for just a moment. All of you, if you would. If you're here today, or if you're watching online and you have never placed your faith and trust alone in Jesus Christ to be your personal Lord and Savior, if you've never received God's forgiveness for sin, if maybe you're unsure of your eternal destiny, I want to give you an opportunity right now to settle all of those things with God, to place your faith and your trust in Jesus Christ, to receive a gift of grace by faith at this very moment. If that's where you are, would you pray with me at this moment? Say, Lord, at this very moment, I take all of my faith and all of my trust and I place it in Jesus. I come before you right now with a humble heart, asking for forgiveness of sin. Lord, would you change my life? What Jesus Christ did for me on the cross was absolutely enough to pay for all of my sins. And so I confess with my mouth today that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I ask you to forgive me of my sins. And today I receive him into my life by faith. And I acknowledge, Lord, that this is a gift of grace that I don't deserve. But I accept it and I receive it into my life. Lord, would you teach me what it means to truly walk with you? With head still bowed, if you're praying that with me right now, would you do me a favor? Would you just slip your hand up all over this auditorium? Just real briefly. Hands are going up all over the place. Amen. 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 Okay, if you're praying that with me, put your hand down. If you prayed that with me here today, here's what I want to ask you to do. Would you take out the Get Connected card in the seat pocket in front of you? And would you fill it out and check the box that says, today I prayed to receive Jesus Christ as my Savior? And would you either put it in the bucket on the way out, or would you take it to the help center in the atrium? We would love to know that you made that decision. We have a class that we offer that follows that decision called First Steps. It's an opportunity for you to not only hear more about the decision that you just made, which is the most important decision you'll ever make in your life, but it also gives us an opportunity to help you to learn how to share your story. And hopefully it will lead you to the next step of being baptized here at Westridge Church. Maybe you're here today and it's been a while since you've been in church, or it's been a while, honestly, since you truly followed Jesus with your whole heart. What a great opportunity here today to just come back to the Lord. And just to say, Lord, at this very moment, I just want to confess some things before you that have kept me from truly walking with you. And on this Christmas Eve morning, Lord, I just want things to be right between us once again. I want to walk with you intimately. And just know in your heart that not only is God forgiving you, but he is truly welcoming you back into fellowship. You say, what do I do with that? Just keep walking with him. Let him love you and guide you and lead you. And commit to following him. We're going to go into a special time of singing and candlelighting right now. We have some folks who have come to the front to help you out. Would you stand quietly? And our host team right now, they're going to be coming to the ends of each row. They're going to help you to light some candles. And if you would, just quietly just lean over to the person next to you and light their candle. And parents, listen to me for just a moment if you would. If you would help us out by making sure that wax does not get dripped on the chairs, the carpet, and please don't allow anyone to burn the building down. We would really appreciate that right now, okay? And let's join together in this beautiful song by joining Amanda as she leads us in O Little Town of Bethlehem.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. O holy child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. Cast out our sin and enter in. Be born in us today. We hear the Christmas angels, the great glad tidings tell. Oh, come to us, abide with us, our Lord Emmanuel. Oh, come to us, abide with us, our Lord Emmanuel.
Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him, Christ the Lord. Church, let's give Him the glory this morning. We'll give You all the glory. We'll give You all the glory. We'll give You all the glory. Christ the We'll praise Your name forever. We'll praise Your name forever. We'll praise Your name forever. Christ the Lord. We'll praise Your name. We'll praise Your name forever. We'll praise Your name forever. We'll praise Your name forever. Christ, oh, oh, oh.
you may extinguish your candles carefully. Just a couple of things that we want to share with you before we take off. First of all, you can take those candles, if you would, hold on to them, and you can put them at the doors. There's some containers at the doors on your way out of the auditorium. Next Sunday, we're not going to be having any services here in person. They'll all be online. Our first service is premiering at 9 a.m. online, and we'll be on demand after that. And what a perfect opportunity to invite some of your family members, neighbors, or friends to come over and join you in the comfort of your home to participate in that service together. As you leave the building today, we have a little reminder that will help you know how you can engage in that service, and with a little bit of a gift for you and your family, so make sure your family gets one of those. Hey, if you have come this morning prepared to give the gift offering with you and your family, our mangers are still available up here this morning, and you can continue to give to the gift offering online at westridge.com. We would love it if you would hang out with us a little while out in the atrium. There's lots of us here. It'll be a little bit crowded, but we love just to have a fun time with you. We have lots of picture opportunities out there by our trees and at our rock wall, and our staff is available to help you get your family photo this Christmas. We love you, Westridge Church. We look forward to seeing you again the next time we're gathered together on January the 7th. Have a great, great Christmas. God bless you.